Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope the week's going well for you. I'm shooting this on a gray, chilly, rainy hump day, Wednesday. We've been getting a lot more clouds and rain lately, but this is kind of one of those days that's nice. I've been inside all day, just working inside, getting some things done, and yeah, no complaints here. Anyhow, I want to talk about low-fat, whole food, plant-based weight loss today. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you'd go down there and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I wanted to share, listen, before I even get started today, I get questions all the time. So let me just say in advance, my diet hasn't changed. Somebody asked me on Instagram the other day, people see little bits and pieces and they make assumptions based on little bits and pieces. Go through, back through any of the videos I've ever done in my life, and I've never harped on the fully raw thing or said, ooh, I'm fully raw. I've been fully raw for long periods of time, but the point being is people focus on that so much. All everybody wants to do sometimes, I feel, within this community, within the plant-based community, instead of learning and figuring out shit that's going to work for them and actually benefit them, they'd rather spend hours online just arguing over this or that. I don't care. You can believe whatever you want to. You can go out and eat a tire this afternoon. Go out, take a tire off your car, cut some pieces off of it, eat it. I don't care. It's not going to do anything to me. But I would just implore you to use your time wisely. Don't sit around, debating over all this stuff. But like I say, I eat mostly raw. I eat mostly raw. People are like, oh, you're eating cooked now. Oh, you're eating cooked now. There's no now. But it's like today. Most days that I eat some cooked food, it's like I add some steamed vegetables to my salad. Like I had a big salad a little while ago for lunch, and I just had some steamed, it was the normal salad I would eat, had some steamed Brussels sprouts on there. Yesterday had a salad, it was a little chilly, put some steamed zucchini on there. Sometimes I put sweet potatoes on there. I do eat legumes at times. I mostly eat sprouts, but I do usually eat beans at least once a week. But bottom line is, a lot of the same principles for weight loss are the same whether you're eating a raw diet or whether you're just eating a whole food plant-based diet and keeping it low fat in general. But the raw part of it, even if you're not trying to be a raw foodist or that's not the part you're focused on, I'm highly encouraging you to include raw meals in there, to include raw, fresh, whole fruits and foods in there that aren't cooked. But you can decide how much or how little you want. Now, I'll try to put it down in the description below again, or I won't try, I'll do it. But I did a video, my 2 videos ago, I did a beginner's video on the whole food plant-based diet, and I put some resources in there, so I won't go over those resources again for all the people that have watched that. But definitely go check out that video and check out some of the resources there, because I like people that have a good explanation of just solid nutrition, not the raw, not the woo-woo stuff, not the raw versus, but just the facts. Another one that I came up with today that I hadn't mentioned the other day is Dr. Esselstyn's son. It's Rip Esselstyn. He's a retired firefighter. He's got a great cookbook out there. And the reason I'm mentioning that is I'm easing into just places where you can find recipes, places where you can find good food suggestions. And I like to mention the Esselstyns because Caldwell Esselstyn, who I did mention in that video, is he's probably retired now, but a cardiac doctor, cardiac surgeon. And he has been one of the pioneers in this low-fat, whole food, plant-based movement over the past, I don't know, but 20-something years. Well, his son got into it. His son his son came out, has a couple of recipe books out and simple stuff. And, he just figured, he wasn't going to sell all this woo-woo, vegan-y, raw, blah, blah, blah stuff. So he came up with a lot of practical recipes, and he introduced these to the firehouse where he worked at, and he had some amazing results with that. So I would say go look up Rip Esselstyn and some of his great recipes. You need to have the recipes. Get yourself some good recipes, and don't be a cheapo. Buy yourself a couple of books. Your health is worth it. Think about how much people spend on doctors. Think about how much people spend on things in general. Even like the other day, I forgot, recommended somebody's book, and somebody on Instagram goes, "It's expensive," and I'm like, well, listen, and hey, God bless. People are where they are. You might be struggling just to keep a roof over your head, but for most people, I kind of can put two and two together and know where they're coming from. They're just being kind of a cheapskate, and I'm like, really? Okay, let's say you spend $25 on a recipe book, and there's a lot of them for a lot cheaper out there. One recipe book could pretty much do you, and then you've got some good, solid recipes. Just get the right people. And who are the right people? There's a lot of good recipes out there. I personally make most of my recipes from Raw Food Romance, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't tout her books because I'm not getting any money from her books. In fact, the 2 books of hers I've got, I bought. Wasn't given to, we were friends. I'm sure she would have given them to me, but I made a point. I said, I'm going to buy these books. I make pretty much all my recipes out of those except for mine. The number one thing you want to look for, there's a lot of good places to get your recipes. And another one too, and I know you've probably seen me mention this before, is Forks Over Knives. Forks Over Knives is a documentary. You can find it out there. It's a movement. It's been around for a while. And they also put out a magazine like 4 times a year. And in each one of those magazines, it's usually about $9.95 on the newsstand. In each one of those magazines, now you're not getting raw in there, but in each one of those magazines, there's probably 100 recipes. And the important part about this, and the important part that I want to stress, and that's why I'm saying it's like whether you do it raw, whether you do it cooked plant-based, a lot of the principles are the same. I highly believe in salt, oil, and sugar-free. To an extent. Now, people, what I mean by sugar, of course, I eat fruit. Yes, I eat natural fruit. I'm talking about added, additional sugar. The sugar that sneaks in ingredients, in packaging. And that's another reason for the whole plant-based foods, because they sneak so much stuff in there that you don't know what you're getting half the time. But salt, oil, and sugar-free. And I'm not being a fanatic. Do I use salt from time to time? Yes. But not very much, not on a regular basis. I have some pink Himalayan salt here. It's probably been 3 weeks since I used it last. It's just there, here or there. And oil, I know people are going, but isn't it healthy oil? Well, do you know, like, small amount, tablespoon of oil, do you know how much vegetables, fruit, other stuff you can eat for that? So once again, don't come at me. Oil's one of those triggers, like people get pissed off. Well, you make up your own decision on that, but sugar, oil, salt-free, and that has worked for so many people. Nothing to do with the raw, just on those principles. And the reason I talk about that is the cleaner you eat. Here's the big kicker right here. The cleaner you eat, the more you can eat. Because like I say, dense. I forget, like a tablespoon of oil. I think a tablespoon of oil, I'm not sure tablespoon, but let's just say roughly 150 calories. For a little bitty tablespoon, do you know how much greens you can eat for that? Point I'm getting at is that's not even going to really satiate you. Whereas something that's less dense calorically is going to fill you up a lot more. So just think about it like that. The cleaner you eat, the more volume you can put in your stomach, and the more satisfied you're going to be. As far as like the taste and, oh, I'm addicted, oh, I don't like the taste of this, well, you're just going to have to work your way through that. Our taste buds, the things like the salt, the sugar, a lot of the condiments, MSG, things like that. Yeah, and that's why they're in there. They've kind of corrupted your taste buds, and it's going to take a little while. So that's another reason to have recipes, good recipes around, so you can make good toppings, good dressings, good sauces to put on top of these whole food plant-based foods. But the cleaner you eat, like I say. And one thing I will say, now let me talk about this. I'm not going to be the preaching, oh, you need to do raw, or you need to do this amount of raw, or raw is bad. Why has it got to be either or? I do highly recommend, whether you're new to this lifestyle or whatever, is incorporating elements of raw into your diet, into your weight loss lifestyle. When you're filling yourself on good, wholesome stuff, and you're getting just a little bit of movement, your body's going to find that point. That your body's going to find its natural weight. I never did any particular, like I say, when I first got in this lifestyle, I was under eating. I will say, don't restrict your calories. You can cut back a little bit. There's a marginal cutting back, and I do the same thing when I decide, okay, I want to drop a couple of pounds here or there. Just cut back a little bit, but I don't restrict what I'm eating. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you don't get into the restricting thing on this lifestyle. That's what dooms so many people, is they do something. Listen, this is a lifestyle. This is hopefully a way of life, that you're working on to live forever. It's not like a diet where you're going to do something for 6-8 weeks, lose the weight, and then go back to how you're eating. So you need to find something that will sustain you long term. Restricting, I watch people and they're just getting more. It's like a rubber band getting tighter and tighter, and they're going to pop. People restrict what they're eating, and they restrict and they restrict, and they're always hungry. And if you're always hungry, it's never going to work for you. It's never going to work. You may hold on a week, you may hold on a month. Who knows? Maybe you're really strong. You hold on 6 months, but eventually you're going to pop. You're going to burst, and then you're going to overcorrect, and you're probably going to gain 30, 40, however many pounds. So don't restrict. Don't do these drastic things. You don't. Listen, there's things out, there's reasons out there, I guess, to do juice feast or whatever for certain health issues and cleansing. And I'm not saying don't ever do one. Maybe even if you do, like everybody, well, can I start with one? And God bless if you want to, but don't count on those things to lose weight. In other words, don't make that a part of your weight loss. Like, okay, well, it's time. I'm not losing any weight right now. I'm going to do a juice feast, or I'm going to only do juice, or I'm only going to do this. Work on the big picture. Don't worry about what that number is on the scale, right away. Sometimes you change the way you eat, and you may not see any changes for a few weeks. Now, some people will. Some people, they'll take off right away, but a lot of people won't see changes because it takes your body a little while to get used to this. It takes you a little while to figure out how much you need to eat to get used to eating differently like this. So have a little patience with yourself. Weight loss is really not hard at all on this lifestyle. I was overweight as a kid. I was big through college. I was always a bigger guy, not fat, not overweight. But even all through my adult life, I'd be typical of most people. I'd party, I'd do whatever. I'd gain 20 pounds, get back in the gym, I'd have to lose it. I didn't lose weight easily. It was like everybody else. I'd have to get on that damn treadmill every day, get the metabolism stoked back up. Slowly, I would do it. When I found a plant-based diet, I can lose weight like that. And I'm not going to do it, so don't nobody say, well, do it to show us. I worked to gain a little weight that I needed. But tomorrow, I could gain 10 pounds. I could lose 10 pounds like that. I could decide today, boom, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And probably within 2-3 weeks, I'd be down 10 pounds. I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I would just slowly. Now, I say don't restrict, but I always know, like I say, I know. I can tell by the way my clothes fit. I've got a doctor's scale here. I'll hop up on it. And I can always tell the volume of food. So, if I go out of town overnight or for whatever reason, I can always tell, when I put on a little bit and I'm like, okay, let's just lighten up for a few days, a week or whatever. And I don't restrict. I don't say, okay, I'm going to cut out this meal. Maybe my smoothie, instead of 9 bananas, is 7 bananas. And then maybe later in the day, I have 2 bananas less in my ice cream. So it's just a small deficit every day like that. But anyhow, a lot of this video, once I go back and watch it, I'm just going to be like, well, you're just kind of rambling. But it's just about nutrition. It's just about finding the best nutrition for yourself. Once our body's healthy, it's going to find the weight that we're supposed to be. I believe the body sets itself. And if I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times on this channel. If you will even if you've got a lot of weight to lose, if you will forget about the weight loss part of it and just get in your head, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to focus on my health. I'm going to take control of my health. And I'm going to eat healthy and live a healthy life. And if you just kind of take the goal out of there and don't worry so much about how fast you can get to a weight, if you go for a month and you don't lose a pound, you probably won't do that, but don't freak out. As long as you know that you're eating the right way, you're going to get there. And then one last little thing I'll throw in, and it's not something I ever did, I just never really needed to, but for people that are new to this lifestyle, people that are trying to lose weight, and even especially people who struggle, keep a food journal. Keep a food journal, because then when you can either figure out what you're doing, what you need to do, or when you go to ask questions, whoever's trying to help you has a little information to really give you some real advice, instead of you just, well, I kind of do this or I kind of do that. Probably, let's see, I'm trying to see when I'm going to be able to get around to this, but probably I'm going to start taking some people, if they want consultations in March, to help with losing weight, withdrawal, with whatever. But I'm not like most of your people, and I don't even like to call it coaching. And I don't know that I'm going to have the patience to do this, because I've never had kids. I'm not good with people that are kid-like, and even like when people, I can get a little grumpy sometimes. I've always been like that. I've never had patience with fussy eaters. I've never had patience with people, well, I don't like it. Well, it doesn't taste. Because I've always been kind of utilitarian when it comes to that. I mean, yes, I've got good taste, I think, but I'm also like, okay, we eat every day for the rest of our lives. It doesn't all, and here's one last thing I'll leave you with. Not every meal, not everything you put in your mouth has to be like, oh my God. Sometimes it's just fuel. Sometimes it's just good nutrition to get us through the day. So hope you can take something out of there and it wasn't too rambling around. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up, give me a share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys again in a few days. Peace.